Hello crafters, I'm Jan B and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this shaker card. Before I tell you the card pieces that we'll be needing, I'm going to be doing powder pink today, but I would like to show you how this card developed. It started off with this one, which I showed on my blog the other day, but I like plain and clean simple is what I like, but this was just too bland. It needed something, and I thought it'd be absolutely brilliant for a shaker card. So then I made this one, and apart from not putting enough sequins in there, I liked the card, I was happy with it, except I felt that it needed a design around here. So the next card I made, I used lemon lime twist, and I stamped a little design around there and went over it with my white gel pen. Now I'm liking that, but I thought that the stamping was just a little bit too light, and the reason it's very light is because I'd used VersaMark, so that it's more like a watermark than actual stamping. And then this final card I used tone on tone, and it has come up a lot better. It's just that this card is too dark. There's too much detail lost on here, and a shame, but that's part of the reason why I'm going for the powder pink. And also inside the cards I've done 2 extras for that design there. This one I used 1 and tilted it on the side. This one I did 1 and just did it here, and this one I did 2 and I did them linked like that. Okay, so when I come to the bit where I say you need either 3 or 4 pieces, you will need 3 pieces if you're doing a single. You'll need 4 pieces if you're doing a double. I will be putting photographs of all of these on my blog the day that I published the video. So if you want to go back and check on those to see what they look like, you will be able to see them. So to start off with the card pieces you're going to need. You need a card base in powder pink that measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8, which is 21 by 14.5 centimetres, scored and folded at 10.5 centimetres. And then you'll need 2 pieces of Whisper White cardstock, and they should measure 4 inches by 5 5/8 inches, which is 10.25 by 14.25 centimetres. And then you need a top layer which measures 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. And then you'll need 1 piece, which is for this main part around there, of Whisper White, and that should measure 3 1/4 inches by 4 inches, which is approximately 8.2 by 10 centimetres. Now this is where you come to, you either have 3 pieces or 4 pieces. 4 pieces if you want to do the double design inside, because you need 2 for the front, 1 for the single, 2 for the double, whichever, your choice. So you need, and these should measure, 1 1/2 inches by 3 inches, which is 3.75 by 75 centimetres. My design I'm using 3. Right, oh, you also need a piece of acetate, and this measures 3 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches, which is 8.2 by 8.2 centimetres. In our catalogue we actually call this window sheet, but it is acetate. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on my front sheet first. Now, I don't know whether you can see, but on my grid paper here, I've marked 2 pencil marks there and 2 pencil marks there. That's so that I can put my paper, my cardstock there, and know that it's right in the centre. As you know, I do struggle with straight lines and things, so this does need to be absolutely in the centre, crossways. It doesn't matter if it goes a bit high or a bit low, you can adjust that quite easily. But the way I do it to make sure I get absolutely in the centre is I take a pencil, which is here. I've got this lined up, and that is absolutely in the centre with these dark lines here and the dark lines here. So what I do is, first of all, I will take this piece and I am going to lay it across, making sure that's still in the centre. I'm going to lay it across that dark line across there. When that's straight, I'm going to bring in my sheet of the acetate strips, self-adhesive acetate foam sheets that we'll be needing, foam strips, and I am going to put that so that it lines up with that thick line and that thick line there. And then when I'm happy all of that is lining up together, I'm just going to use my pencil and put a pencil mark in there. Okay, and it needs to be that low a bit. My pencil slipped. Next, I've set up my Stamp-a-ma-jig to help me. It's got a little bit smudged now because it's been used so many times, and what I need to do is to line up on that dot, what should be a dot rather, in between the O and F, just above the H, and then just make sure that that is straight, and then I will be right in the centre. If you can eyeball this, then go for it. There's no telling where I'd finish up if I didn't measure it out like this. Right, so that's in the right position. Now I just need to make sure it's straight. So I'm going to bring it down a bit, and without letting it move, just have a look. I think that looks straight. Okay. Now I'm going to bring my Stamp-a-ma-jig tool in, place that there. First things first, I need to go over this with my Embossing Buddy to remove any static or any finger marks. And then I am going to use VersaMark and my stamp. In fact, let me tell you the stamp sets I'm using. I'm using 3, but you can change these. You could actually use everything from here. Okay, so this is the main image that I'm going to be using, and it's from Charming Café, and I'm also going to be using the Café Builder dies. For the little design that I've used on the card, that little stamp there, I've used Cake Soiree, which comes in 2 boxes, and I haven't used the one with the circles on it. I've used the one with the spots on it. You can choose any stamp for that. And I've used the Happiest of Birthdays to You from Birthday Blooms. Right, so this is my stamp with the happiest at the top, inking it with VersaMark, and stamping down. Give it a bit of pressure, not too much. That's it, that's good. And pop the lid onto that. I'm using white embossing powder. You could use silver if you wanted to use silver sequins, that would look rather nice. The reason this has come up so dark on here is because my VersaMark is really quite dirty, but it doesn't matter because the white will cover it all up. Just use my paintbrush to get off any excess. If I can see what I've done with it. I know it's here. Oh, here it is. I can see it. Okay. In fact, there's not really very much on there at all. That's lovely. Right, before I heat set that, I'm just going to pop this away. Now I'm going to let my heat tool run for a few seconds to start off with. So excuse the noise. There we go. As soon as you see everything go shiny, that is enough. Okay, don't keep going over it and over, and you'll do harm rather than make it any more shiny. So what I need to do now is to stamp my pattern on here, and this is my, I wonder, did I clean that before after the last time? Well, it's clean now. Right, what I do to find out what it looks like with VersaMark as opposed to ink, I stamp it on the back. So let me just show you what the difference is. Okay, so first of all, that's VersaMark. I'll bring it up to the camera so that you can see. I'll put that away because I'm not going to be doing it with VersaMark. I'm going to go to powder pink ink. Now this isn't going to do the ink pad any harm that I've gone straight from VersaMark into there. There we go. You see, with the VersaMark, it really is just a watermark that you get, but it's a lot more definite with the ink, and that's what I'm going for. Didn't mean to close that one up, did I? Right, also I have shaved my, or at least cut bits off my stamp here, because I found that I was pressing too hard, particularly on here. I don't know whether you noticed when I showed you that bit there with the VersaMark, got the line. So I've cut it, which you can do, but do remember that that will make your guarantee with the stamp set that you have with Stampin' Up! Null and void, because you have effectively deliberately damaged one of the stamps. Now I don't find that as an issue, because you know, once you've been using your stamp set, nothing can happen. If it's okay to start with, it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's always okay. The first stamp I do across here, so that, let's show you on this one, it shows up a bit better, so that it comes through on the top there. And then after that I work around that bit. Now I'm not going to do all of this because it would just take me too long. I have actually prepared mine. It is all done, but I will just show you. I'll do the top half. Okay. I like to go off the edges. Sometimes I got my stamp going the right way round, sometimes it's upside down. Really and truly, it's just creating my own designer series paper. Okay, so that's as far as I'm going to go on this sheet. I will show you what I do with my white gel pen. I just make sure that it's actually working, not dried up or anything, and then I just make a solid ring dot, spot, whatever, on the pink spots of the stamp. I don't try and do it the same size. I think it's quite nice to have some of the pink showing from around the edges. This is one of the techniques I really do like, and that is using my white gel pen to accentuate things. And with something like this it goes particularly nice because it's picking up the white that's on the white embossing. Okay, so that's what I do. I just go all over my card, filling in a little white spot on all the pink spots. And then you finish up with a piece that looks like this. Okay, so that one's ready. Next I'm going to be doing the stamping of the image, which is here, and this is the first one that I need. And then what I do, I have already prepared these little ones, so but I will do one just to show you how I do it. But again, you really don't want to sit and watch me do all this painting. This actual one, I haven't prepared this, so you will see me paint the whole lot, but it doesn't take long. Just make sure that you've got ink all over your stamp for this one. Just pop it in the centre. Nice bit of pressure. There we go, lovely. Oh no, one more. Show you how I do these ones. Stampin' Up provide you with 2 stamps to die cut this bit. In the set of dies, what you get is you get one, well 2 actually to cut out the middle as well. You get 2 dies to die cut that out, and then you get 2 other dies that will just die cut that bit out and that bit, which is why I'm stamping it just like that. But you need to do all 3 or 4 pieces like that. Now I'm not going to colour it, but I will cut it out to show you how that bit goes. But I'm going to colour this one. And the colours I'm using, I'm going for my marker pens, it's Daffodil Delight, Powder Pink and Tranquil Tide. Now there are bits on here which you're going to have to make up your mind whether they're buds or leaves. But like a lot of things with card making, there's no real right or wrong answers. It's what you think at the end of the day that counts. Leaves to me are all these ovoid shapes that have got the vein in there, the vein line. The other ovoid shapes on stems that don't have the vein line, like this one here, those 3 there, they are buds to me, so they will get done in powder pink. If you disagree with that and you think they're leaves, then you go for it and do green. There's another one that you have to make up your own mind about, and that is not this one here, the one next to it, the one with all these dots on it. You may decide that's a different colour, possibly yellow. That was the colour that I thought about doing it, but I settled for doing it pink in the end. And this flower here, I just do the base of it and the buds in pink, because the bit that's coming out over the top, to me, that's the stamens, so that needs to be yellow. But as I say, you know, no right or wrong. You're the creator. What you see as correct is correct. While I'm doing this, I would just like to say a huge thank you to all of my YouTube subscribers. I found out the other day that there is a list of the top 100 YouTube card making videos, and of the best rather, and I'm number 32, which really did, well, it shocked me actually, because I know how many good crafters there are out there that put out card making tutorials. So I was really thrilled, obviously. So I would like to say a big thank you to you all, because obviously without you I wouldn't be number 32. So thank you very much for your support. I really do appreciate it. Right, this doesn't really take too long. I think these little images are a little bit too small to worry about shading and such like. You may not agree with me. But I'm quite happy just to give it straightforward colouring. Part of my thought is that the recipient is going to be so concentrating on the fact that it's a shaker card. I don't really think they're going to notice this very much. Right, I've painted that. Imagine that I've painted that one as well. Now I'm going to bring my big shot up. Let's just move those out of the way. Right, first of all I'm going to show you the set of dies, the Café Builder dies. So this is the set that goes with the stamp set. And you see you get two of those to die cut the flowery bits, or you can cut the flowery bits like this. You get three of the trees. Oh, I didn't realise that, 3 of the trees. But it does make life a lot easier. It speeds things up quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my pieces on here. You see, what you can do is you can put those two on like that and die cut them. But I think that's like quite a bit of waste of the paper here, which is why I stamp like this. And I would have 4 pieces like that, or 3 pieces, however many I wanted to do. And then just line that up on there. And then first of all for this one, see, you can do 2 at the same time. So first of all that one. And this is really quite easy to line up. And then this one, and the bits I concentrate on lining up is that dip there where this stem goes into it, okay, that one there, and this one here where the leaf goes into this dip. So if you get those lined up, and the same on the other side, you should be good to go. Right, that should be alright, I think. I'm going to tilt it towards me because obviously looking sideways it's not always easy. I think that's okay. Yep, I think I'm happy with that. In fact, I can't see very much of that black, can I? Now, have I moved that into the wrong place? Don't think so. Alright, let's give that a go. Oh, I moved that, didn't I? Right. I'm also going to cut the acetate. Oh no, that's moved. Oh, I hope that hasn't cut. No. You did. Looks like that moved slightly as well. But fortunately I don't need that. Right, let's try this again. I don't know why that moved. That's all right. Okay, so that was successful. As I say, I don't know why it jumped. Right, so we don't need those pieces. And that I'm going to keep because I think that would make a nice shape for a sentiment on a card. Not quite sure what, but I'm thinking about something. Right, so what I'm going to do, I need to cut this piece of acetate, and I did think I'd brought a piece of paper over with me. Is this? Oh yes, here we go. Because my cutting mat is so well used, I don't want my acetate to get scratch marks on it from here, so I'm putting a piece of paper down first. I'm keeping the brown sheet, which it comes with, on top as well. And I am going to use my layering circle dies, and I'm going to use number 8, which is the largest of the straight cut dies. So just pop that on there, put my sheet on top. Just keep a good eye on it, making sure it's not going to jump. Okay, so obviously we've cut the paper circle out with it as well. Just tuck that underneath, helps to protect it while I'm holding it. Right, so put those down there. I don't think I need this now, do I? Oh, I don't need that. So now we need to put these pieces together, and these are the 3 pieces that I'm using for my card. So first of all, let's take my silicone mat, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of these on that side and one on that side. But before that, I'm going to trim these. There's a couple of pieces I want to take off. Now this one, it's the same on both pieces, but you can see with this you've got yellow stamens at the end of this one. It's the one the other end. You want to cut off those 2 leaves and that pink flower. And the way I do this is I just follow that stem round in and then back out again. Just try and make it a little bit curved. Comes in, out, around. It's a bit pointed, so there we go. Left a bit of black on there. There we go. And I'm going to do exactly the same on this one. It's that flower and those two leaves. There we go. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Right, now to put these two, note I'm not cutting the one that I'm going to be using to go on the inside. That stays as it is. Right, now these two are going to be going on like that. And what I found is, as you're doing this, lining this up, you need to make sure that that doesn't come peeping out. Okay, so what I suggest you do is you do like this with a pair of tweezers and hold it and see how this has to join onto this one and how that one joins onto that one. You can move it round slightly to pull it down, but you can't pull it down too far because you run out of flowers there. And likewise for this side, you can push that up a bit, but all the time make sure you don't expose any of that. So I will be using my fine tip glue pen. Now what I found was this comes out quite quickly, but it's very easy to use. So what I do is I keep a tissue handy so that if it's coming too quickly, I will take it away from here and just mop it on there. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to do this side first. I'm just going to go along the black line, and then I'm just going to put a little bit on that end and a little bit on that end. Where we rest it on there. Right, so quickly get this one closed up. There we go. And then tweezers again. Why is there black on there? Alright, now I'm going so that I can just about see that black underneath, but then I'm going to move forward very slightly. The reason I go to this sort of trouble is because I want this as round as possible. Now there is no way it is going to be really round. There we go. Can you see the sort of shape that I'm getting here? So now I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to do the other side. Again, use the fine tip glue pen. Just put a little bit around on the black line and then a little bit on the end and on the end. It's a nice little shelf for me to rest that on. That's it, pop that in there. And now I'm going to do exactly the same with this piece. And try and do it the same as I've done this one. Right, so that is going up to that one. About there, and that is coming off by about there. Okay, so they look about the same here. It's not a perfect shape, but it is close enough. The next thing we need to do is we need to stick our acetate window on here, and the way I do that again is with the fine tip glue pen. And this is even more important, not to get this too thick on here, because if it's too thick it's going to start oozing onto the inside. So what I do is just put a very thin amount all the way around the edge, and when I take that off to move it, I put it onto my kitchen towel just so to blot it up. I don't keep my glue pen on my acetate because it would just keep on coming out and the blob would get bigger and bigger and bigger, and I would be in trouble. At one time I never used to get on with this glue, but like fast fuse I persevered with it and it's great, love it. One of my favourite things to do with it is to sort of paint it over something and leave it to dry, and it goes all nice and shiny. Right, now what I'm going to do is, I do try not to handle this acetate any more than I have to. Right, now I'm going to pop this in the centre, make sure that I've covered up the whole window there. And just press it down. Now this is where it will all ooze onto the inside if you've put it on too thick. Oh, that should be fine. Now we need to put our foam adhesive, what do we call them, strips? No, we don't call them strips, do we? Foam adhesive, I can't even see the rest of them now. I know I've got the bag here, there we go, I knew it was here somewhere. And they are called, oh, foam adhesive strips. Well, there you go. And I find, depending on where I put this round, one strip goes all the way round. And I also find that if you take the other sheet of the backing off, it's a lot easier to manipulate this. So make sure you're holding this up so that it's not going to be coming down, getting stuck where you don't want it to be, and then just very gently curve this around the corner as you work your way around. Sometimes I just about make this go all the way round. Sometimes I finish up with a very slight gap. In fact, as I'm talking, that's coming too close to the edge. So let's move in a bit. Obviously it's got to be towards the centre if it's going to go all the way round once. Just take it slowly, plan where it's going, and it will work out a treat. It's going a bit close to the edge. Put that one round. There you go. Very, very close to the edge there. Look at the gap that I've got. Okay, so I'm just going to move that out a bit, if it will let me. Are you going to let me lift you out? Oh yes, well done. That's better. Now I'm going to see if I can cut a piece thin enough to slide in there. So if I take this, and on that sheet there is a partial piece, which is what I've been cutting little bits off from. Pop that back on there. Take that piece off. Now if I'm lucky, that's going to fit into that gap. I might have to squeeze it a bit. There we go. Now if you're using things like sequins, that gap really isn't going to do any harm because the sequin's not going to escape through there. Right, now I think I'm ready to put everything together. So first of all, my completed sheet is this one, so I'm going to adhere it onto here. Yep, that's right. And now I'm back onto Tombow. I really must get into the habit of calling that sat nav. I think Tom-Tom's an expression worldwide, isn't it? International. I think you all know what I'm talking about. There we go, happy with that. Now the sequins I'm going to be using, oh, I brought over these. You could use this. These are our gold glitter flakes. If you use these in your shaker, then yes, you would need to make sure that that hole is closed up properly. But I'm using these. And these came in a pack all together. I've separated them all out. I can't remember what it was for, but they're retired now. But there you can get some iridescent sequins in the catalogue. And one of the colours they've got in that iridescent group is powder pink. And they also do another one which is... they're calling it metallic. I know it's got black, I know it's got iridescent, so I imagine that's just clear iridescent. I don't know, I'll find out once I get it ordered and delivered. But as I say, these were Stampin' Up originally. Now, I don't know what colour this is, but I know that it is going to look alright. Or shall I use the pinky colour? I think the pink is wrong sort of pink, isn't it? Yeah. I think I'm going to stick with this. The other one was blue, so that'll be great for a pool party colour. But no, I'm going to be using this. Now the advice I can give you about this one is don't be tight with them, but equally flatten them out as much as you can, spread them out without making them so far that they're going to get stuck underneath there. And the reason I say that is because on one of mine they were too thick on top of each other, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get them to shift, but I did eventually. But I find it's a lot easier just to get them all spread out first of all. I'm just having a look. I can see the happy birthday underneath, which is going to tell me where I need to put the... There you go. See the H? You need to be able to see some of this to guide you to where that's got to go, because obviously you want it in the middle. And with the happiest, that's almost across the centre. And also I recommend that the bit that is actually stuck on here, that was die cut on here, not the additional bits, I suggest you put that up at the top. I think it gives you a better shape. Okay, so that's one cut edge and that's the other. Let's just push that up a bit. There we go. Oh, one escaped. I really don't know what colour these sequins are. Okay, that's a nice amount in there. And they are all moving. So just give it a little squeeze down to make sure it's not going to be coming off or anything. You will find that the sequins do tend to get a little bit stuck against the edge there because the side of the foam is, that side there is still a bit sticky itself. You can go over it with your Embossing Buddy if it's if you don't like the idea, but I'm not particularly bothered about it. Now with the tops across here, I've done something on all of mine. I'll show you what I've done. This one is 2 strips of white card. That one and that one is both that ribbon, the organza ribbon, and that one I used the washi tape that comes with the Myths and Magic set, which is those. I used that one, but I did find that because that's so soft, it wasn't as easy to use as the white card, because the card was obviously rigid. It stayed quite solid, but this is solid and flexible. So rather than doing that on a video, what I'm going to do is I am going to use a different ribbon. I'm going to use the glittery, don't you call it, no, shimmery powder pink shimmer ribbon, and I like this because I think it is quite different from the actual cardstock, but because I'm using the itty bitty 2017-2019 in colour bitty bows, I think that's going to look nice on there. Okay, so that's what I'm doing with this one. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put some fast fuse on the back here. I'm going to put 1 strip on the front, 1 strip on the back, top and bottom rather. So I'm going to do this one first, and the way that I do this to get it nice and straight is I get my top here lined up with one of my lines here, any line, doesn't matter which. Okay, so let me bring that a bit closer, it's a bit difficult that far up. Okay, so I'm on that line there. I'm just going to put my ribbon so that it's going to be lining up with that line there. Okay, I'm going to bring that round, find out how much I need. Just cut a piece off. Now I can line this up with the dark line there, so we both can see it, and you can see the top of that is just on that dotted line there, which is the second one down. So if I put that on there, which looks so wonky, it should be straight. No, it is wonky. Let's bring it back down to me again. So that's there, and that should be there. That looks better. Yep. I think that's straight, but it's too far for me. I want it to come up a bit. So just move one up, because I've got an idea that that will be the right sort of distance. Maybe not. Let's come down a little bit. That's better. Right, so now all I need to do is line that up again. Check out where that is. It's a bit of a gap down from that first dotted line. That looks about right. Except I moved. Let's have a look. I think that looks okay, doesn't it? Looks straight. Yep, that's good. And I'm going to put a bow. Oh no, let's do the bow once I've attached this onto the other piece. Now I'm going to do that again on the end, the bottom. So I know that I want that sort of gap down here. Maybe not. That looks better. Okay, so turn it over, find out how much I need. Cut that off. This ribbon is amazingly soft, it's beautiful. Right, so bring it down to line it up onto that dotted line, just about onto that one. That doesn't look right. Oh crikey, look. I've got quite a gap here. That's quite a lot higher than it should be. So do you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to have to put 2 rows of ribbon down here. Okay, so let's get this one correct first, and then I'm going to put another one on. See, we can always fix these things. That's good, that's right. Now I better put some more fast fuse on, hadn't I? Right, let's see. I'm going to have to do this from this side this time so that I know that it looks okay. Right, let's see if that is straight. Okay, that's that one, that's good, that's just a tad under. That one's a bit too much under, but that looks right to me. I better do what the lines are telling me. Yes. That's better. Okay, I'll take the word of the grid paper. It's got to be right, one hopes. Oh, I said I'd put this on first, didn't I? Let's stick this to my card. And when I do this, I always put a little bit of extra Tombow on the ribbon. Although it's being held there by fast fuse, don't want to take any chances. The pattern that I've put on the front layer of cardstock is much better on this lighter colour. Okay, so that's that one. I've got a sheet to put on the inside. Let's tip that upside down so I do it correctly. Okay, so that's that. And I've also got one of these to stick in here as well, haven't I? Now I don't like it that way because when it's on its own, that looks upside down. It doesn't look right. Doesn't look right like that either. So there's no other way I can do it. I'm going to do it like that. I think I've used all options really, haven't I? Tweezers. And I certainly think this design is better suited for a lighter colour as well. Fresh fig was not a good idea. So now I just put my bows on. And it's that's quite nice, but it means up there is going to be left on its own because I don't want them all. Let's do it the opposite side this time. Oops, could do two there, couldn't I? No. No, no, no. Do one there. There we go. And there we go. That's today's project. I hope you like it. There's quite a lot to it. It's been quite a long video, I know. But I think it's worth it. And I hope you do too. As I say, I will be posting all the pictures, the photographs on my blog on the day that this is published. Where's the other cards gone? There we go. So let me just take you out a little bit so that you can see these a bit better. There we go. Many thanks for joining me today. If you have any comments or any questions, please leave them in the comments box below the video. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, please click on the link that's in the box below and that will take you straight to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. I will put in the box below all the products that I've used. The sequin details will be the details for the ones that's currently available. And I'll also put all the measurements in the box below too. If you've enjoyed my video and you'd like to be notified each time I upload a new one, which is normally on Wednesdays and Sundays, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.